Welcome to Unwind Friday. It's your girl, Lissa Black, bringing you the heat with a little street.
And it's your girl, Marie Lewis, life and health coach, bringing you tools that you can use.
All right, guys, so we're going to jump right in. Today's topic is going to be seven stages of grief. So, our family is dealing with something that we haven't dealt with in a long time. So, we felt this was a perfect opportunity to talk about grief and dealing with grief and giving you stages of grief as well as ways to cope. And the things that you may feel that you may not know why you're feeling it. So that's what our topic is based on tonight.
Absolutely, because I just felt like this would be a good topic. You all, we got some echoing. We're going to try to fix it. But if anybody is watching right now, would like you to let us know if you can hear us and how we're sounding right now. Uh, Um, they probably are here. We
Yeah,
know
we're
they
trying
hear
to see
the
if you guys
echo.
hear the echo.
But I want to make sure that even if they hear the echo, that they can hear us, period.
Yes.
So that's what I want to make sure of. Because it's echoing for some odd reason today. But that's okay. It's fine. It's fine. We're still
So
gonna
let's
just get.
jump on in. So we're gonna do seven stages of grief.
Well, it's seven
ahead.
tips of grief dealing with sudden death. So 7 tips for dealing with sudden death, because recently we had somebody very dear, somebody close, raised like sisters. In my age group, Melissa's younger, but she still was close to the entire family. My cousin, who suddenly passed away on Sunday, Monday morning, basically. So it's been difficult for me to deal with, and so I thought, let's just talk about it. And by doing these 7 tips, we can help others and ourselves in this process of grieving.
Definitely. Because things, especially when they happen so suddenly, of course you're not prepared for it. You don't really know what you're feeling. You go through so many different stages of emotions at one time. And it's a continuous process. There is no correct way to grieve, guys. But there are stages and tips that we can help you with or give you during this process. So let's jump right in.
One of the first steps is to seek help. Like, help is so needed, like, right away. Like, the help, even if it includes family members, the help of others. When you experience a sudden death of anybody that's really close to you, it's important to seek help and accept help. Not only seek it, but accept all the help that is being brought to you, because that's really going to take some stress off of you, and it's really going to help you feel better. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to do it alone. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if it's support from family or friends, just allow them to help you seek help.
Yeah, so along with the stage with the tips, I also want to give you the stages because that first thing that happens will be like shock and disbelief. You going through all these emotions, you got this horrible news, and you like, it's no way. I just was with this person. I just talked to this person. I just
Absolutely.
seen this person. It's absolutely no way. So you go through this disbelief and shock stage first. And that's before you go into denial. So with the disbelief and shock, you're leaning on some of your loved ones. You don't believe that it has happened. Sometimes it takes photos and it takes other people announcing it for you to begin to start the process of it. So stage one will be disbelief and shock, along with that tip of seeking help. So when you get out of that disbelief and that shock, and it hits you, and you go to start to grieve, and you definitely want to seek help. Not only from family members, because sometimes you can find comfort in your loved ones, because especially they're
Absolutely.
feeling the
And not
same.
only seeking help from it, but if you feel suicidal or you just feel like you lost our hope, because especially when if it's a parent or a child or something like that, you want to seek professional help right away. No need to wait, right away. Right, tell someone and seek help right away.
Absolutely. So then, tip two, embrace the grieving process. because you're going to go into denial. That is a natural state of grief. Your mind is gonna avoid the pain. It's no way that's gonna happen. There's no way they can be gone. I just never thought of them ever being gone. You never think of someone being gone unless you're going through a process with them if they're like terminally ill. But when it just happens and it happens so unsuddenly, like so suddenly, you go through denial. And that's actually a natural stage of grievance.
And also the way that you embrace the grieving process is to just invite warming embraces of people just trying to embrace you. Um, Accepting every emotion that you're feeling at that time. It is okay to feel how you're feeling no matter what that emotion is. Embracing that feeling and knowing that it's okay for you to feel out.
Yes.
You don't have to be too strong. You're not too weak. It's okay to just embrace the grieving stage. You know, it's okay to be confused. I have to be honest with you guys. I feel a little confused right now,
Yeah.
and I'm just coping with it. But one thing you don't want to do is try to figure out why, because that doesn't help.
Exactly, because that also brings guilt and pain. You don't want to figure out why because suddenly you start feeling this sense of guilt and pain. You start remembering things that has happened. You start going through these stages and you're like, if I would have, or if I could have, or what if it was me? Like you automatically get drawn into guilt and pain, and that's one of the stages as well. So you want to, it's normal. It is normal. So if you're feeling that, it's a normal stage in grief, and it has to happen so that you can keep processing and get through the stages. And it never really gets easier, or it never really gets better, but at one point you begin to it gets a little easier knowing they're gone, but it doesn't get better because we both lost our mom, and we lost our mom at a pretty young age. I was 17 years old when I was officially declared an orphan. They had to step in, and take over quite a bit in during those times. And at 17, of course, I'm feeling like I'm grown. I got this. I know. But then as you age and you begin to think like I was a teenager, I was a kid. I had just got out of high school at 17 years old. So it was a lot that went in the grieving process.
Absolutely. And the grieving process. I like that you said the grieving process because that's what we call embracing your grieving process is the grieving process. And that includes just adjusting to a new information, a new environment without this person. On the emotional relocating the deceased, you know what I'm saying? Just having to adjust to that.
Yeah.
And then our number three tip. I just switched some things around, you all. But our number three is expect delayed reaction.
Yes. So we want you to give yourself time. Do not think I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to feel this. I'm supposed to feel that. I'm supposed to be doing this. Everybody is different. Everybody has a different relationship with the person. So expect delayed reactions. And especially, yes, everybody agrees differently, especially if you are a person in charge. You are going to go through the cycle of go mode. Your body automatically clicks into go, right? And you're in this automation zone and your body's just doing what it's supposed to do. So you never really get the chance to breathe. And that is also part of the process. Like when you had to take over for all of us and you had to go into go mode when our mom passed. And so you never really got a chance to grieve, especially during that period, because it's what's next.
And until everything settled down. So delayed emotion can also happen because the adrenaline of everything that's going like because it's so what people if people have never experienced of taking care of a death afterwards because most people used to just showing up to the funeral. They're not used to the back end side. So if you're the person who have to take care of the funeral, the body, all of that, you're gonna have a delayed emotion because you can't focus on grieving at that time. Your emotions won't kick in until everything's settled down. And when that happens, don't be ashamed. Go with the flow. Let it pour out. stay in contact with your team that's going to keep you uplifted. You know what I'm saying?
Positive people, guys. But sometimes we have what I call grief leeches.
Mm-hmm.
They want to be the center of your grief. They want to be the poster of your grief. They want to post all these different things. They want to, so you have to be careful of who you attach yourself to during these times because you are vulnerable, you're hurt, you don't know exactly what to do because not many people been in charge of handling an estate or something after grief, after a death has occurred, especially when it has been so sudden. Then you have these people come in, they want to take over, they want to be the center of your grief. Some people may do it unconsciously. So you have to be aware of who you attach yourself to. I would say look for those people who genuinely care for you, those people who are reaching out to you saying, not just because everybody tends to say, if you need something, let me know. But until you need something, that I feel like that's something people think they have to say.
Because it's so, was it cliche? What is the word for it? Like you have people who say it's certain things that just
it's like something that just roll off the tongue. What
I told her that was the word.
Oh yeah, like, it's a cliche. It's almost like it becomes meaningless.
Yeah, because like even when people throw up the praying hands,
yeah,
about probably 80% of those people are not praying for you. that's your prayer. Their praying hands are nothing, a prayer of nothing.
After that.
So when I tell somebody that I'm going to pray for them, I literally right then and there at that time pray.
Yes.
Because if you don't pray right then and there, then you're not going to pray because life happens in everybody's life. Mm-hmm. So you want to make sure you have those people, the people who really care for, they're going to be constantly attentive to you.
Yeah.
They're going to be constantly thinking of you. Those are the people you don't block out, the people who don't want to need any, who don't need anything from you, but for you to allow them to help you.
And for me, I don't want to be there when everybody's there. In the beginning, everybody's there. Everybody's reaching out. Everybody's checking. But when it has happened, when the funeral is over, when the lights have turned off, if you will, now you really need the people because now you can grieve. Now you can begin to process. So these delayed reactions for you are going to come later on because go mode is off for you and reality is there. Of course, in the beginning, it's going to be kind of feel overwhelming because all these people are reaching out to you. I want to be there. Do you need anything? What can I do? And it becomes overwhelming.
Yeah, and it does because right now, especially if you're the person like my beautiful cousin Keontae, if you're the person that's the lead, you're the oldest, and so everything is put off for you to take care of. Everything is falling on you to take care of. You don't have time to sleep, eat, breathe, anything. And so you do have all these people reaching out to you. But what I want to tell is the other people from the other side, you guys that's reaching out right now, continue to reach out after the funeral.
Yes.
You guys have sharing pictures of, my cousin or anybody else, family member who died. Don't keep sharing all the time. Give them time to grieve. Be cautious. Because if they have a good day and they get on and you guys steady on there, sharing like I care so much, but y'all haven't even checked on them, then y'all knock them back off of their horse.
I had a friend who lost a child, and she said, y'all, please stop sharing my daughter's picture because I'll be having a decent day, a day where I'm feeling okay, and I get on, and my baby picture is right there, and it sends me right back down. It sends me plummeting back into that dark phase when I was just feeling a little better. So be cautious when you're sharing. So for me, I'm like, if they share, I'll share what they share.
And even before, like I was cautious not to share anything, even though that's all my life I knew her. But I was respectful to her children. I wasn't going to post a picture or post until after her children did it.
We waited till her children posted, and then we posted what they posted, and then said something because we wanted to give them the opportunity to start processing and then to post and say it for themselves before somebody got on
So let me tell you, we have to be careful. Like we had a friend who we grew up with. We went to school in the neighborhood who passed, right? And everybody posts pictures because they posted. And I wasn't friends with like his mother and things on Facebook. And but I had posted a picture of him, but I tagged his name in the picture, so it went to his page. And his sister contacted me and said, "Could you please delete this? Because me and my family cannot take scam my brother." It was so hard for them to deal with his sudden death. And so they was like, "Could you please, no disrespect?" I said, no. I never want to feel. I want to be respectful to you guys. And so I just like to tell the young people, if any of them see this, be mindful of the mother, be mindful of the siblings when you steady posting that rest in peace, because it's people that's you might be sad, but it's people that's broken and hurting and have been lost right now. So when we continue to post stuff just because we posted or we see somebody else post it or we do miss them, it's somebody who can't get out the bed right now.
Yeah, because it's
Or
hard.
it's somebody who finally get out the bed and you got this posted and they get on Facebook and now, bam,
And
they,
then I'm gonna send them right back.
So
So my friend said that, I said, I wish I could share this because I see it so often. And she said, y'all, I had just was having a good day, a decent day. Not a day goes by that I don't live with this reality. But I was having a decent day and I got on Facebook. I said I'm gonna get on Facebook, and boom, it sent me back plummeting. So it's just it's hard. And then so then our next tip would be
handling the process, handling practical matters. Practical matters will be if you're not a person who had to ever deal with setting up the bill. So let me tell you this. So as soon as somebody passes, I'm talking about as soon as somebody passes and they come and they announce them, the first thing is what funeral home you want them to go to. What funeral home, what graveyard, or you gotta go get the plot. I'm talking about you don't even get to rest. I'm talking about it's on from there. Obituaries, this, that. So in that process, if you're a person who have to deal with that process, I want you just to take your time. You know what I'm saying? Create a list of everything you have to do, work it down, tap into your team, create a team so that you have a team. You have some designate things to other people. You will create the obituary. Could you have somebody make the t-shirts for me? Could you find somebody who could cook for me for this, for the after thing? So create your list and designate. Don't take it on by yourself, because I promise you, I know that people think that this world is just all cold. It is not. It's a bunch of loving people out there that's ready to help if you give them the opportunity.
And although this process is natural, it is not always normal. A lot of people do not deal with grief. Unfortunately, in our early life, we dealt with a lot of grief. A lot of our elders passing, of course, our mother and father passing. But then we hadn't had something like this in a long time. So when our cousin passed, it hit and it hit hard. Because we like, wait a minute. We haven't had these feelings come up in so long, and we had seen them, and we like, man, praying for you, sorry about that. But when it hit home, it hits home.
Oh yes, homeless. I just think they're on FaceTimes, that weekend. So it's difficult, and you have to tap into your team. And if you have medicine that you take, tap into your medicine. I tap into mine because it was difficult for me, and it not was. It's difficult for me, and it's difficult for my little cousins that's going through it. And it's important that we call them and designate. We call, and it's important that those people who always want to put themselves don't put burdens on them. Don't make them carry none of responsibility for if you don't have any money to get to the funeral, this and that, call somebody else in the family. Don't call the people that's grieving, that the loss was closest to. It just don't. It's unfair, and it's a selfish thought to contact a person who just lost the closest person, a part of their heart, to ask them, I want to come how I get there, and now they're thinking like I got to get this person here and trying to do that. It's selfish. It's unfair when you have all these other people you can contact for that.
Exactly. And when we say tap into your team, y'all, I want to say everybody around you, because for me, it's a grievance process for both of us. And always think, and everybody always feel like you the strongest, you this, we're gonna ask you, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. But for me, I want to check on you. I check on your strong friend. I want to check on my strong family member. Check on your strong sister. I want to be there for you, so you can continue to be there for them.
Mm-hmm.
Because so often we forget the strong people are in our lives, or the people we think, and we add these things on to them, and we try to attach to that person who we think is the strongest. But when we say tap into your team, I mean fully,
Fully.
back into.
When I say fully, let me tell you, even though you have your own personal team, say, well, when my mother passed, mother had her team. That's your team too. You want to know why? Because they love her, so they're willing. If they really love her, they want to make sure that her family is taken care of. So when you tap into them, they're gonna become a resource for you. Tap into all, because it's all these little separate teams that become one big
Yeah,
team.
and that's what I mean. Tap into, because you have a group of friends and a group of family members for different things. And sometimes people don't understand that. They try to mix people into different groups and things don't work out. You don't know why. You have to understand who's there and who's there for what. What are they there for? What can I rely on them for? Some people are just there for fun. Some people are just there for a party. Some people are there because they're going to really be there for you wholeheartedly. Some people are there for you to just talk to socially. That's your associate. And then some people really genuinely want to be there for you fully, whatever it is. Let me help you carry that burden. I don't want you to carry that burden on your own. So tap into your team fully so that you can handle these practical matters. And it makes sense because you are going to be busy. You're going to have a lot going on. Again, you want to enlist your team on these things.
And that is so true. And then the most important part, number 5, take care of yourself. I know that when you're going through something, you might not feel like eating, you can't sleep, you can't. It's difficult when you hungry. It's hard, but you have to take care, especially if you're a parent and you have little ones. Because the world doesn't end around this person who has probably upgraded to a better place. You know what I'm saying? Party with her other loved ones and things like that. So we have to take care of yourself. You have to make sure you're eating. You have to make sure you have a balanced meal. You know what I'm saying? Get some sleep.
Yes.
You gotta comb your hair. You gotta take a bath.
And you have to take care of you so you can take care of other people. You can't pour an empty cup can't pour out. Because if empty pouring out, you're not pouring out nothing. You got to take care of you first because you got to be healthy. You got to be alert. You have to be able to to complete these tasks. You have to be able to show up. You got to be able to show up for you first. Show up for you first. Make sure you've eaten. Make sure you had something to drink. Make sure your family is set because you still have to go back to your life. You still have to push on as best as you can. So that's what I said. Tap into your friends because those friends most likely gonna check on you. I want to know how you doing. I know what's going on, but I want to know how you doing.
Absolutely.
I want to know what I can do for you. How can I help you? What do you need in this moment? Have you eaten? Can I go grab you something to eat? Can I send something to eat to your house for your family? Because 9 times out of 10, you ain't gonna be up for cooking. You ain't gonna be up for eating. You're not gonna be up for those things. So most people come and bring food. That's why some people don't know, like when people bring food to your house or send food to your house.
They're tapping in.
Help the person because you're not gonna be up to all those things because grief, especially when it's so sudden, it's so many different stages. And you can be experiencing those different stages at different times because it's no like numerical way that it's going to happen. Everybody goes through their stages differently, depending on the relationship with the person, depending on what's going on with their life, depending on their experience and their backgrounds.
Absolutely. And so if that means putting your phone on do not disturb for a couple hours, it's okay. You might not want to, if you're in the process of taking care of business, you might not want to miss certain phone calls. But if you put it on do not disturb, then you can call anybody back that needs to be called back.
Especially after business hours, unplug. I always say
unplug. I'm telling you, you have to, like, especially being an older sister, right? And Keonta, if you watch this, being an older sister and knowing that I have to be here for all them. I ain't gonna get no rest. I have to be there for all them. No, in order for you to be there for all of them, you have to take care of
You have to take
yourself.
care of you first.
You have to go to sleep because you know what? Somebody told me one time, if you're carrying everybody on your back and you begin to sink and drown, what's going to happen to everybody you're carrying on your back?
They sink and drown.
They sink and drown with me. So it's important to take care of yourself. So baby, take care of yourself, and you know we here for you and things like that. If you watch this, and your other Anais and Jalen, if any of you guys see this, we're here for you. Take care of yourself. Eat your food. It's okay, whatever stage you decide to begin to grieve in, but it's important to take care of yourself.
Absolutely. And again, this is not easy where it's natural, it's not normal always. And then everybody you love differently. You have a different relationship with. So every loss is going to be very different. Sometimes, I mean, you just never know. I found myself heavily grieving for a friend, and didn't even know that it would hit me the way it hit me. So you never know until it hits you because your body and your mind reacts very, very differently when things happen. So we want you guys to take care of yourself. We want you to tap into your circle, whoever's closest to you. If you don't, sometimes you don't even know you got people out there ready to help you until you reach out. So if people
and then because some people won't let people who reach out to them, let the people help you that's reaching out. Let them. God sent people to people and they just won't let them, and then they complain about the stress when they didn't push everybody who God came to lift that heavy burden on them. You know. And so,
and
allow
accepting
your
help
help.
don't mean you weak. Accepting help don't mean don't think because sometimes we get negative, right? We start thinking like I don't want nobody to think I need them. I don't want people to be
I don't want nobody to say
and
they help
if you
me.
got somebody in your life that you feel like gonna feel like that, or gonna throw that ain't your team. It's time to
But you know what? I never think like that because if somebody helped me, I want to say they helped me.
But you will be surprised how people mind.
Because to me, it's something wrong with the person who say I don't want nobody to say they helped me. Why?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you be the first one to say somebody helped you?
Exactly, because you normally say, "Well, I want to thank you for being there for me when I was going through my hardest and darkest, my deepest, darkest moments. I want to tell you I appreciate you." And you do want to do that, but it's people out there that's like, I didn't want to ask somebody for help. I didn't want them to think. I didn't want them to feel because we have our pride. Everybody has their pride.
That's true,
right? And you don't want to feel like somebody think you need them. You know, a lot of people. I think that's natural. Honestly, we have our pride and we like, hey, I got this. I'm gonna handle it. But honestly, it's people who genuinely love you, people who genuinely care for you, people who genuinely want to be there for you. So tap into those people because it's a comfort for both of y'all. You might not even know, but it's a comfort both ways. It's a comfort,
and it's gonna be a time when you sit down and you think and you just think, you know, I thank God for what's name doing that, or being there for this. So I wouldn't even made it through if what's name was there.
Exactly. And that person may be like, man, I'm so glad they let me be there for them. It meant the world to me that I can be there for
like me. I get my strength from people allowing me to support them and be there and love them. It hurts me if I can't support or love somebody during a time when they're hurting. You know what I'm saying? I get kind of offended.
So your love language is support.
It is.
I believe in supporting people, and when people support me, it show them that they love me. And when I support people, it show them that I love them.
To be able to give me. Nothing else, even whatever I have, but just to be able to give me my gift that God gave me of edifying and building up to others in their thing. I don't care, pull for me. So my job on my end is to make sure that I'm staying filled so that I can allow people to pull for me. And I do that process by reading my word and praying to God because he fills me. So I can allow people to pull for me. That's my purpose. And it's not just, I'm not the only person that's out there like that. There's other people like that that's out there that's in your circle. So pull for them. They're ready. They're studied. They working out. Breaking out in the world, putting on their armor, mentally, so that we can allow the people when they are weak in our circle to pull from us, pull from our strength.
So when it comes to our people, our needs, our warriors. We want to say we are here for you. We want to pour into you. We want to build you. We want to edify you. We want to be your team. We want to be your community. You can reach out to us on our channel or in our inboxes. Because that's what we want to do.
And edify only means to build up,
Exactly.
to teach, to encourage.
Yes.
That's what edify
So,
means.
so we wanted to take our platform and do something very different.
Yes.
We didn't want to be negative. We didn't want to, take away, but we want to add to. So number 6, revenge ideation might happen.
So it depends on how your family member's sudden death happens, right? So if it was a murder or something like that, or say you feel like the doctor didn't do what they were supposed to do, sometimes you might have these emotions of revenge. You want revenge for the death of it, or you might go through these emotions of anger toward God and I have to admit, when my mother died, I went through anger. And I felt like I was having faith, and my faith didn't work. Like, God, why didn't you save her?
That's one of the stages of grief too.
Mm-hmm.
You start questioning your faith.
Yeah, questioning your faith. So you have these ideations that might happen of revenge against the person who might have killed them, the doctor who didn't do that job, or the family member who you feel like put too much stress on them, or something like that, or yourself. But it's a normal process to go through. But you just, if it gets too out of hand, you seek help, and you share with somebody what you're going through. You allow God to renew your mind, connect with your church family or your church friends or somebody who can just help you relieve yourself from that, because that's torture when you go through the revenge stage. Because when somebody dies, even if somebody dies by the hand of somebody else, or they die of natural causes, we still feel confused.
You do. You do. You start. You go through all these different stages, and confusion is one, because you like, why her? Why not them? Or why not me? Or why not? You go through these stages, and it's important to acknowledge them and say, this is a stage of grief. This is normal. This is healthy. This is in order for me to heal. This is in order for me to begin to patch my life back together. So, if you do have that, don't act on it. Understand it is a part of the process
of grieving. And you know what? We don't want to forget about the children.
Absolutely not. So if you are grieving, your children see that you are grieving, and most likely, especially if it was someone close to them, they will begin to grieve too. So how to tell if your children are grieving? They'll have difficulty concentrating. They'll have trouble sleeping, clinginess, anxiety, or feeling abandoned. They'll have developmental aggression. It can change. It can show in changes in behavior or play. They no longer want to do what they always have done. And then they just might have feeling of guilt. Why did that happen to grandma? Why not me? They'll say things to you, and you know your children better than anybody if you pay attention to those different things, because children feel you. They feel what you feel. So understand this grieving process will not just be you. It will be your family, your children, your spouse. It's an entire thing that affects everybody who loves you, everybody who is near and dear to you.
And last but not least, our 7th one is mourn at your own pace. Mourn how you mourn. Don't let anybody tell you how you should mourn, when you should mourn, how long you should mourn. Mourn at your own pace and heal, but don't stay in that place for too long.
Exactly. And by that, we mean like, don't let nobody rush you to grieve, especially when you are a close loved one, because again, your body go into automation. It's going, and you don't even know how it's going sometimes, especially when you're not replenishing it the way it's supposed to be replenished, especially when you're not taking care of it the way it's supposed to be taken care of. Sometimes you just go into automation mode and you go. But you have the right to grieve when you are ready to grieve. Nobody should rush you through that process.
Absolutely. Because some people might mourn for a couple of weeks. Some people might mourn for a month. Some people might mourn for a week, for a year. Everybody have their mourning periods. If it's somebody on here, you allow them to mourn. Let them mourn. But how I ain't gonna say because but cancels out what I said before. However, if your morning is getting in the way of you taking care of yourself, if your morning is getting in the way of you taking care of your children, if your morning getting in the way of you eating, sleeping, then seek professional help because it has reached a deeper level and you have went into oppression and depression and you need a little bit of help to get you through that morning stage. But if you're just morning, because you can be what they say, like they said somebody's when somebody's a alcoholic, what they say a function, you can be a functioning mourner, so you can function and still mourn. I mourned for 5 years after my mother died.
And
I
honestly, it
still
never
mourn.
really,
You
I'm gonna
never
say it's
stop
never
mourning.
really ends.
But I'm a functioning mourner. But in the beginning years, I was not, and I had to get some help. Because if you become unfunctional while you're mourning and you can't get out the bed to feed yourself or take care of your kids if you have kids, or you can't go to work to pay your bills, then you need some extra help. You need some extra encouragement. You can get you a psychologist, a counselor, a therapist. You can get you a life coach, somebody that's just going to help you come up with a plan and help you be accountable and just help you get out of that. You might need medication. You might need some medication to get your hormones back in order to get back functioning right. But don't even be ashamed of that part, because it's difficult when we lose a parent, when we lose a child, or we lose a close cousin or a sibling. That's a piece of our heart that's missing that we never get back. And death is something difficult to understand. Like I never can get used to it. It's something you never get used to. It's something we can never understand how it works and things like that. But what we can do is we can hold on to the beautiful memories. So one way to get through grieving, my tools that I like to leave, because I give you tools you can use, is the best way to help get through grieving is thinking about the good times you had with that person.
Absolutely.
Finding beautiful pictures of them. When their birthdays and holidays come, don't grieve them in a negative way. Grieve them in a happy way. Celebrate them. Celebrate the goodness. Celebrate the things that they enjoyed to do for that holiday. Celebrate the things that they wanted to do for their birthday. Invite other people to celebrate with you, and it uplifts you. And then you still might cry. Y'all might cry together and crack jokes about their silliness and things like that. And you get to grieve, but you still get to grieve in a joyful way.
Because we have a double whammy, because right now we are coming up on the anniversary of our mother's death and her birthday. She died on her birthday, June 13th. So that's why we wanted to bring you guys this video. If you have any questions, please reach out. If you need help, if you're in mourning, if you still feel like you have not gotten over a loved one, please reach out.
Reach out, please, and we will connect you with some resources. You can do a coaching session with me, and we can come up with a plan on how to get you on track. And I can send you to some other places if you need deeper, if it's past, because I'm not a therapist, counselor, psychiatrist, psychologist. So I would, if I feel like you're in a deep place that I can't, that's not in my profession of education, then I would refer you to somebody else who can help you.
Absolutely.
So what we just would like to, we made this beautiful, and I just want to make this big.
Yes, make it. Yes. So thank you guys so much for joining us for this Unwind Friday. You are in our prayers. We wish you all the best. Again, if you are grieving, if you know someone, please reach out. This is our beautiful cousin that we have recently lost. Of course, she is always in our hearts. We're going to remember her next Friday. We're going to celebrate her life. And the life of the party she was, because she truly was
the life of the party.
Yes.
Oh, hold on. I want to move this right here so that I just would like to say this right here. We did this show in memory of my cousin when Aquanetta. Pooh to some, Netta to some, but a love to some, full of energy, so genuine. I mean, I'm talking about so
she was
pure,
educated. She was
energetic.
Brilliant. She was energetic.
She had the energy of a
She
toddler.
was athletic. She
Yes.
was loving. She was caring. She was a great mother, an awesome cousin. We just have so many memories She, like I said, today she was one of the first people we remember just pursuing her career.
Pursuing her
She had
career,
a master's degree.
the first one of our older cousins who was going through college.
Yes, and she excelled in IT, which is one of my greatest loves.
Yes,
IT.
she did.
So again, she was so many things, guys, and she will truly be missed. We are devastated and broken by this loss, but together we can.
Together we can overcome by supporting each other and having grace with each other and giving each other the time to grieve this process. And if you lost any family members, we're sorry to you. Our heart goes out to you. And like we said, we're here for you. If you want to talk about it, comment. We talk back. Give us your information. I'll give a link if you want a free coaching session so we can talk about it and come up with a plan to get you back on track if you've been grieving deep. And remember, accept your support team. Tap into your team. Tap into your team. God has surrounded you with a team, but if you don't utilize it, you just make it more difficult for yourself. Tap into your team.
Absolutely. So, guys, I know we went over our time, so we want to thank you guys for joining us for this Unwind Friday. As always, we say if you have a topic you want us to research for you, to drop it in the comments or inbox us directly. Only thing you have to do is drop it. We will do the research for you and bring it before you. So thank you guys for joining us. We hope to see you next week. Please like, subscribe, and share this video because somebody out there may need just a little information or a little light to help them through that. To help them get through their grieving process or what to do and to know that these things are normal.
And to know that there are people like me and Melissa out there that's willing to talk to you and comfort you if you don't have anybody else to talk to. We're here. Comment.
Yes.
See your number. Tell us to put the link so I can do it. Inbox us. We're here. So like Melissa said, thank you. Join us every week at Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern time for Unwind Friday. Like, subscribe. Hit that bell so you can be reminded when we're on live, just in case you forget that we're on. And we love you and see you next week.
Thank you for joining us.